Hello everyone, and welcome to VOD of Consciousness, and today you'll notice I haven't entirely finished my merching. I guess I'll go ahead and do the wave. I'm Sientir, by the way, if I didn't mention that. You can kind of see my character waving. So I wanted to highlight something. So this gold item, it's something you could potentially open from a Kurzik chest. And you'll notice it's worth 192 gold, and does not have particularly useful mods on it. Plus 10 armor versus earth damage is maximum armor versus earth damage. It could be health plus 60 while hexed, but health plus 60 while hexed is not very good, because when that goes away, you'll lose those 60 health, and generally you want to try to avoid being hexed. It's usually not a good idea to use equipment that improves while you're under a negative condition. While the benefits are usually higher than under a positive condition, you're generally going to try to get rid of the negative condition while avoiding, while you want to try to maintain a positive state. So, in typical, you'll want something like plus 15% damage while health is above 50%. You can get plus 20 while health is below 50%, but you're generally not going to stay there, especially when you're playing with the AI. It's going to try to heal you up. So what that means is that this item is not very good. It has a cool look, and that's really about it. It also requires 11 tactics. Optimal for a max armor shield that, like this one has, is actually 9 for the requirement. So this is a fairly unoptimal piece of equipment. This key could open a chest that might contain it. You'll notice that this item is worth 192 gold, while this key is worth 300 to sell. If I were to buy this key from the merchant, it would cost me 600 gold. What this means is that these items are actually not very worthwhile. You lose a lot of value when you open them. There is some progress that you make to some item tracks when you identify rare items, for example, so you can potentially get keys for that. But I'd actually recommend lockpicks generally. They might cost a lot more, but on these lower quality chests, you actually have a higher chance to preserve them and make multiple uses out of them, so you can actually get some value out of them that way. So there's that. But yeah, this is when you open a bunch of high-end lock chests. Lucky and unlucky get boosted by lockpicks breaking or not breaking, as the case may be. This character actually has Survivor level 1. That's pretty cool. And there is a title track for identifying rare items, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, and so you can use lock or keys for that. But again, I'd recommend lockpicks. So just in general, I would tend to sell my keys rather than open chests with them, just because you generally do not open an item that has more value than... Ooh, we're back over 50k. You generally are not going to open an item that has more value than the key itself does. So if you're just going straight for money, they're usually just a really bad deal. So we're going to go to a zone called Mourning Veil Falls just as soon as I can figure out how to get to the zone portal. I don't go here very often. There's a couple of significant things that happen here. In particular, hunting for black moa birds, I believe, occurs here. I should go turn that quest in. The Beak of Darkness. Find Eric Lutgardus and Melandru's Hope and talk to him about the mysterious black moa bird. So Melandru's Hope is way up here. I could do that because Mourning Veil Falls has the black moa bird, but honestly, I just don't feel like trying to pursue that right now. So yeah. So we'll probably turn in the Wicked Wardens. After we go capture this elite skill. So I need to quickly bring up this map that I'm looking at, not you. Okay, so it looks like it's not very far into this zone. So just a little bit of a distance to go. So let's go ahead and get ourselves this elite skill. It's over this way, not that one. That guy's real close. I'm not sure what elite skill he has. Probably Gust, if I had to guess by the name, but I don't actually know. Actually, looks like I need to go down this way optimally. I'm just looking at the map and trying to interpret what it's telling me, so. This is annoying. Okay, yeah, get over here where I can poke you. Trying to think if I have anything interesting to say. Ooh, obsidian flesh. That's an interesting skill. I mean, I have plenty of things to talk about. I don't know. I'm kind of still on the randomizer thought train right now. There's a Dark Souls 1 item randomizer that I find to be really cool and a neat experience to interact with. I really like the concept of randomizers, and I want to make games with them built in, probably as a mode that you unlock after beating the game normally, because I like the way that the Ocarina of Time zone randomizer works, where the area is familiar, but the meaning that it has in the world becomes different in each playthrough, and I find that to be really quite interesting. And I like the way that that changes things up. I do like sort of the item hunt that you get from like the Dark Souls 1 randomizer, but to some extent I have some issues with it. Oh, that's probably the boss I want right up there. Probably the boss that I want. One of which is that if you're just trying to beat the game, you can kind of quickly reach a spot where things become yeah, because that has shared burden, which is the skill I'm looking for. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna trigger a whole lot on that guy. Hopefully that hit. Okay, cool. We cleared that out. They were fighting amongst each other, so that helps quite a bit. Shared burden is just like super obnoxious and potentially a fairly powerful hex for me to make use of. It certainly is at least a more interesting hex to make use of than some. I don't know what ritualist skill that guy has, quite frankly. There's the Mourning Veil Falls itself. So there's that. Okay, so we wanted to go turn in this skill at Vasburg Armory. And I need to figure out what I'm going for next. Crippling Anguish I got. Okay, so there's... I don't really want that one. That's certainly not my thing. This could be, though. Let's see. This could be good, and... okay, that's maybe interesting, but not quite what I want to do. Probably don't want to do that, and don't want to do that, and don't really want to do that. Okay, so there's 2 more elite skills that I want to capture from Mesmer elite skills. So I'm going to go ahead and take a quick look at where they can be located. This guy's happy that we killed off all of those wardens. So, you know, there's that. Let's see. So, Riverside Province. What? Oh, during War and Krytos stuff. Okay. So normally this is from Boss. Okay, so that's not too bad to get to, and okay, so both of the bosses that I want are in okay, so that's close to Dawnhaven, are in Nightfall. So we're going to actually make our way over there. So how are we doing on time? We're doing reasonably fine on time. Okay, so the best way for me to get there is actually through Embark Beach, because otherwise I'm going to have to lose party members and remember to get party members back. It's just going to be a giant pain in the rear end. So rather than deal with all of that business, I'm not going to. I'm surprised I don't have any other domination magic that I want to get elite skills from, but at the same time I'm not. So let me just take a... Mesmer elite skills, yes, I want to look that back up. Because, like, energy surge is okay, but not really I guess there's an argument for panic, but that one's a giant pain in the rear end to find. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these are great on Mesmer, but... So maybe there's a... Oh, panic is a real big pain in the rear end to find. Probably worth picking up, but... Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's... Okay. So anyway, we're going to go to Alona, because that zone is much more reasonable. Let me grab Signet of Capture and our Stunning Spear. And, okay. Okay. That's the button I want. Yeah, these guys make cool consumables.
Are you still here?
Except I'm not a high enough level against the char to be able to do that.
Why are you bothering me?
Maybe.
Why are you here?
Yeah, okay. So you have to be high enough rank in those whatevers. That's Tyrian travel, that's Elonian travel. Okay, cool. This zone was a really good idea, and then they made everything super spread out, which was less of a good idea. At some point in time in the future, I might start doing some of the Zaishin mission stuff, because why not? Kourna... whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to stay here and invent a cemetery. Cemetery is one of those words, by the way. This is just kind of a random piece of trivia for me, but I actually want to go from Yulon Haven. But it's one of those words where I have a hard time remembering how to spell it. I keep wanting to spell it with an A at the end, so it's C-E-M-E-T-E-R-Y. And I keep wanting to spell it C-E-M-E-T-A-R-Y. Actually, I have a thing. So, this is how I keep wanting to spell it. And the correct spelling, as you saw on screen, is that. So, I'm actually making use of this for a change. Most of the time, I'm just looking stuff up on the wiki, but, you know, now you can see. So, the top one is misspelt, and that's how I keep trying to spell it. And it's wrong every time. And the bottom one is the correct spelling for cemetery. So, that's just a random piece of useless trivia about me and my typo problems, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, I should remember that I have that more often, probably. But whatever, I've mostly been talking about video game stuff and randomization for increasing replayability and stuff. Again, I do enjoy when zones feel different, when their significance changes based upon changes to enemy layouts and stuff. What's really interesting to do also is actually try to figure out how to... I should double check where this thing is. Not that one, this one. Okay, so it is down kind of in that middle of the rocks area. It's down over here where I want to get to. I'm just going to go the upper route rather than the lower route, because why not? Bugs. So, what I think is really interesting to try to figure out, too, is if there's a good way of doing it that has... what's the phrase I'm looking for? That has less of a... potential, particularly with randomizing enemies and item locations and stuff, there's a potential that stuff can be kind of non-sequitorial, where it's like, why is this here? And I think it's really interesting to try to think about how could things be set up such that it was avoiding that particular issue. Avoiding the problem of things kind of becoming non-sequiturs. And I don't know that there's necessarily, like, there are ways I think that could be done, and it's really interesting to me to think about that sort of setup, that sort of intentional design to make things not senseless, as it were. So that's something that I find interesting to think about and to consider. So that's right. I often come here for that boss, Grunt's Grasp. I knew there was a boss here, and I couldn't remember why I was thinking of it. Nice floating rocks, guys. This sort of thing's easy to do, though, when you're making something this big. And catching every single instance of it is not trivial. I imagine I want this Admiral over here. That seems likely. Oh, what an annoying enemy. Oh, nope, I probably want Neoli the Contagious over there. I don't know what that Admiral has, but... yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time trying to Twitch reflex that guy's stuff. I might be able to predict, but... cool. Extend Conditions is an elite form of epidemic that spreads the conditions and also increases their duration. That's okay, yeah, I know that. I know what that boss has, and is not a skill that I particularly have interest in getting. Okay, so from the Chantry of Secrets is the place I need to go for the next elite skill that I'd want to capture. From Makta the Aggravating. How's that for a name? Let's see. How much longer do we have in this episode? Oh, okay. Now's a good time to wrap up. So I'm going to take care of my inventory and putting on my elite skill and stuff next time. And we will come and grab the next elite skill that I want from Mesmer's. So until next time, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.